G'day, welcome to this episode. It's really windy. I almost got hit by a gum tree on the way here, but I finally got it here, and we have an air compressor finally. So look at the size of it. It's an industrial one. Really stoked to get it in here, but the power lines, the tree's falling on the power lines, and I've got no power. At least I can get out of the ute and we can have a look at it. But I can only come up here once a week, and when there's no power, it's just a disaster. You know, it takes me an hour to drive up here. So anyway, let's get into it. All right, so I've been thinking actually how to get this thing out of the ute. It's huge. Got a forklift to actually put it on, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I think I might use the engine crane, the engine jack, and just try and lift it up and lever it out and then slide it off. So that way I can then tilt it up and start unboxing it, so we'll give that a go. That wasn't as hard as I thought actually. That engine jack worked a treat. So here it is. This is a industrial air compressor. It's absolutely crazy here today, so you know, the wind, I don't know, it must be gusting at 100 kilometres an hour. There's trees falling everywhere. This shed should be alright, but you probably won't be able to hear me, so I'll keep my voice up. I'm going to unbox it now, but this is essentially, hopefully going to solve my issues with sandblasting and spraying. It's a pretty good deal in this air compressor. It's a 120 litre tank, 4 horsepower, but it's 240 volts single phase, which is good. So I can run it on this shed when the power's on. And it's around about 18 CFM. So for a 240 volt single phase unit, that's as big as you can get on the market. It's no bigger. And it was pretty reasonably priced at 890 bucks. So I didn't actually see it. It's a Genesis one, and it's sold by Blue Diamond in Melbourne, and there's also a branch over in WA. So I saw it on eBay. It was the best one after a good month of hunting, and it's pretty capable. So you can see by the size of it, it's not exactly a toy. So it is classed as an industrial air compressor, and it should see me through for years to come, hopefully. So I'm going to unbox it now and get it unwrapped, and we'll have a look at it. Check out this bad boy. I reckon this will do the job. Yeah, what can I say? What you see is what you get. It's got a 3-phase looking power adapter, but it is 240 volt. You can see it's got a 15 amp connection there. It's wider at the base. That means it's 15 amp. There is a different air connector here, so I can't just plug my hose in. I'll have to get a coupling or something to put on there, which is a bit annoying. Instruction manual, it is Chinese. What is it made in China these days? So it's going to do the job, and I'm really happy that it's in the workshop. So I'm going to go through this manual now, check out what I need to do before I crank it up. The power's just come back on, so they must have fixed the line. So I'll do that, and then we'll fire it up. Okay, so set up the air compressor, gave it a bit of a test run, and it seems to be doing the sandblasting really well, so really happy about that. Getting back to the issue of the cost of the grit, that silicon carbide tub was like 35 bucks, so I scouted around. I found a company in Dandenong that does glass bead bags, 25 kilos for 35 bucks. Went to pick one up on Saturday, but they were unfortunately closed. So I racked my brain and I was like, well, it's called sandblasting for a reason, so maybe I'll just try sand. And went into Bunnings, and these dried sandbags for builder's sand are 10 bucks each, so it's not a bad a way of doing it, you know. Instead of going to the beach and getting all the shit inside and you have to sieve it out, this is a pretty affordable 10 kilo bag for 10 bucks. So I just got a couple of these. I'll give it a test run and yeah, see how it performs compared to the glass bead, and I'll get a bag of that next week. But I've tested the little handheld unit, and so far so good, and next I'll test the additional larger sandblasting unit, see how that performs. There you go. Sandblasted that guard. The new air compressor works a treat with the flow rate of 18 CFM. It's like 13 CFM free air, but that seems to be enough to hold it. And that sandblaster there is it's good, but it just sort of keeps clogging up for some reason. So I've got to shake it, and then every time I shake it, more sand comes out. So I don't know why that is, but it's pretty annoying. But when it does work, it takes it all off pretty well. That little gun's awesome, but it's just, unfortunately, the tank's too small, so you're constantly changing it. But you'll get there in the end, and you can see that is a professional job by any standards. So I'm really happy, and that sand worked fine. So just need more of it. I've run out. So just need truckloads of sand, if you can get it. Be careful with the builder's sand, because one little pebble was in there that, because obviously don't filter it, so if you could probably strain it, but that clogged the gun hose, and so I wasn't getting any sand coming out for a bit. But other than that, I cleared it and it was all right. So now I'll move on to repairing the other guard. Okay, so yeah, similar to the other one, rust down in the usual suspect spots. It's a little bit worse for wear, this one, and the back side of it is, funnily enough, not as bad as the other one. So yeah, I'm just going to start by doing exactly the same process of as repair as the other one. Just cut a patch out, then replace that with some fresh metal. Also start off with just giving this a burnish, because it's been sitting out for about 5 minutes now. It's just got a light dusting of rust over it, so I'll give it a quick burnish, and maybe even just get rid of some of this paint as well, and then I'll start with the welding. All right, so I've cut out that section of the guard, but as I was working my way around, I just wanted to take a few clips off and clean the back and the inside of all the dirt. And I just noticed a couple of new areas that potentially need fixing, so I'll show you. So just in case no one's done this before, as you're taking these guards off, they've got these little clips here that you have to remove when you're going to strip it back. Just take them off, and then I label them in a container, just so that when I come to reassembly, I know where they are. However, you know, you can buy a whole new kit of all these things anyway if you want to update them all. These aren't too bad. With a bit of a clean and stuff, I could probably reuse them. So I'm just going to take them off and store them. However, as I was going around the inside, I was just cleaning all this dirt off, and it's not as good as the other guard, but I'm still not going to take it back to bare metal in all of inside. Once I clean the dirt off, it should be all right. But I noticed that, and this eluded me before, but there's a little patch here. Potentially an aerial hole, I reckon, but it was because it was on the other side of the guard. I'm not too sure why. Whether they had alternating areas for aerials to be put in on each guard. Anyway, so it looks like someone's patched it, but then if you go over the other side, the old patch on top of the hole trick, and you can see it's rusting through, so I'm going to have to do that patch as well. In turn, along with that, as I mentioned last week, you've also got this section here, which is rusting along the top of the guard, which is a strange place. I'm guessing this car must have sat out for a long time in the weather. I know when I got it, it was sitting outside in the weather, but things like that, you know, that takes years to sort of rust through. So she must have been out there for a while. And you can see just in there it's coming through. And then it does go along some pitting along there, but I reckon if I treat that, it should be all right. So the rest of it's not too bad. So I'm just going to start off by removing all these clips, giving it a good clean inside and a rinse and a wash, and then I will start to sort of mark out those other two areas to be patched. Alright, so following on from last week, I started repairing the second guard. I've just cut that section out there, and now I've just cut the interior of it as well, because it has some pretty big pitting, and I was thinking, might as well, we've got all this work, might as well just take that out. And so I fabricated a couple of pieces for that as well, so I'm just going to put some magnets on them and tack them in, and then yeah, weld them up and grind it back, and this one should be done. Then I'll move on to that top section on the front of the guard there. Well, that's it for another week. We've run out of time. So I managed to repair this section of the guard on the other guard. So both of these are done now on both the guards, on the outside and also on the inside. I decided to fabricate that little section there because it was pitted quite badly and weld it in. I didn't have to take this section out, so I just have to complete this section here now. You can see just here, do a patch there, sandblast the rest of it, run out of grit, so sandblast that and that's done. So once these are finished, I'm going to go down to Ferntree Gully. I've found this auto paints place, and I'm going to have a chat to them about getting some epoxy, and also what epoxy is going to be good for the base coat and what paint system I'm going to use as far as brand. I'm going to go 2-pack, but look, that's down the track. So these will be the first things that I'll actually epoxy because they'll be finished. and I'm going to make a little spray booth and everything like that, but that's a couple of weeks away. So fortunately I ran out of time. I wanted to finish the guard as well, but you know, that's the way it is. You just got to do what you can do with the time you've got. So if you could like the video, that's great. So give it a thumbs up, and also if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. Thanks, and I'll see you next episode. Cheers.